David Morgan of the Morgan Report in the studios of Investment Pitch in Vancouver, British Columbia. Steve Regoci, Garibaldi Resources. Quite a story. Let's get started. Let's start with the management. Give us some background on yourself, and have to throw in something for my viewers, which is Dr. Peter McGaugh, who I know very well, and also his reputation. So tell us about the management.
Well, we've put together a pretty solid management team. I've took over the company as president back in 2004. Spent 24 years in the investment community as an investment advisor, financing juniors, exploring for gold and silver. And then in 2004 we made that change, and I think it's been a prescient move. We got involved when gold was $400. Now it's $1,200. We just keep doing what we're doing. And so far as the climate is concerned and the management team is concerned, we're certainly in a very, very productive area as far as the financial situation that we're getting involved with globally. It's certainly a very, very intriguing set of circumstances, and we're looking forward to how it unfolds. The company itself, as far as the management team is concerned, we've got Dr. Craig Gibson on our advisory board as a geologist. He runs Protamin, and he is overseeing the drilling program for New Strike and Apollo discovery. He has been overseeing the drilling programs at both La Patilla and at Rotadero, initially the Silver Eagle discovery, which is a high-grade silver deposit. And I think that the management team includes a very, very, very efficient and very, very experienced advisory board, including Peter McGaugh, who's been on our advisory board since 2007, and along with Alain Charret, who discovered El Sazol back for San Francisco Gold back in the 90s. And we've put together a really, really solid management team to focus on the exploration projects that we have down in Mexico and also up here in British Columbia.
Okay, great. So describe where you are in Mexico, and kind of a unique way of finding the prospects here, didn't you?
Yeah, we're in 3 states, in Rotadero, and the Tunichi project is in Sonora State. We have the Iris project in beside Pinos Altos and Ocampo in Chihuahua State, and we have La Patilla in Sinaloa. We initially entered Mexico back in 2004 and flew a 3,500 square kilometer hyperspectral survey, which is a new technology. Back then it was novel. Now I think it's part of the curriculum for most of the major corporations or mining corporations. We've basically selected areas where we knew that there were known mineral ore bodies. We took these hyperspectral signatures and compared them to what was on our ground, and we've gone through a selective process of narrowing those down to drill targets, which is why I think we're in the more productive stage of the company's history as we move forward. So pretty much everything we have in Mexico is drill-ready targets. We own our own drill. It's an exploration drill. We're never going to drill off an ore body with it, but it's very, very cost-effective per meter as far as testing mineralized zones is concerned.
So is that an RC drill?
No, it's a diamond drill.
That's a diamond drill. Okay, good to know. So what kind of drill results have you gotten so far?
Well, the first drill result that we got down at La Patilla, we had some very significant numbers. It was 30 meters of 3 grams. Now that included some high grades, so we definitely we're looking for shallow near surface deposits, both at La Patilla and at Rotadero. We haven't drilled below 100 meters yet. We will. We've had up to a meter of 82 grams in the first 10 meters of surface at La Patilla. So there's high grade in the system. We're surrounded by Marlin Gold's La Trinidad concessions, so we're about 15 kilometers north of their deposit, which they've put into production recently. And so at Rotadero, up in the state of Sonora, we also are looking at shallow mineralization. Silver Eagle is a silver, lead, zinc mineralized zone. We've yet to drill below 100 meters there. We've drilled 14 holes there. The initial drill hole was very, very surprising because we hit 7 meters of 2,000 grams silver. And so we're going after things that are going to have a profile that are near-term exploitable. If we find something bulk tonnage-wise, great, because we've signed CAs with some very significant players. But in the meantime, in the climate that we're in, we're really looking at something that we can leverage short-term.
So you get that leverage. What would you do with the capital? Continue to explore other projects that you own, or?
Well, it depends on how good of a deal we can make, but there's no doubt that the best leverage from our perspective here is to find something, take it to a certain level, and and sell it to a larger company. We're explorers. We're not production people. Could we evolve into that? Possibly, but that's not our initial goal. I mean, we looked at an obvious kind of scenario would be what happened to Caden recently, because they got taken out very, very early. And so that's the kind of scenario that we could obviously only wish for.
Okay. Well, let's look at the financial side for a minute. I think you got 58 million shares outstanding and no warrants. How did you pull that off?
Well, in our first foray down to Mexico, again, we had some ground called the Tomorrow's Project, which surrounded Coeur d'Alene's Palmarejo deposit. And we ended up selling that concession after doing enough work to take it to a certain level to Paramount Gold and Silver. We'd outlined the Don Essie vein, which they keep drilling and hitting on. And at the time, it was 2009, at the bottom of the market, so to speak. And we were very, very fortunate to be able to sell that option. We didn't actually own the ground. We had an option on the ground. So we sold the option for $400,000 US and 6 million shares of Paramount Gold and Silver. So we haven't had to dilute our share structure since 2009. And that's obviously something we're very sensitive to because we own most of the, well, we're the largest shareholders. The management team owns 20%. Sprott owns 20%. So we're very, very sensitive to dilution.
Very good. Well, that was my next question of how much management participation do you have, and you answered that. So let's look at, there's another project in Canada, is that correct?
We've actually got 5 projects in Canada. Most of these were acquired as inventory properties, long-run projects. We've basically made a decision to apply what we've learned in the exploration side of large land packages to take that experience and apply it to what we have up here in British Columbia. So we do have a large copper gold project in the Chesley Valley in northwest British Columbia. It's about 50 miles north of Nova Gold's Glore Creek. There's been some very significant discovery holes on our northern border by two companies, one Prosper Gold and the other one Double View. And they've pulled some very, very significant, we're really looking for like a Red Chris model. And so we're early stages in that. We have the largest land package in the Chesley Valley. Teck is on our southern border. They're also on our southern border at another project that we acquired over in the Quesnel Trough, south of Orico's big discovery recently. And so they're going to be drilling on our southern border at the Red Line project. We're very, very opportunistic, and I think we've recently raised a few dollars on the flow-through side for this, which is our first financing since 2009, and we're going to take these projects to the next level, and I'm sure that we'll do a combination of things, including farm these things out to some larger companies.
Great. I'd be remiss without asking about the tax law change in Mexico. A lot of the projects that we follow, and most of them are producing mines, although we have Marlin in as a spec. But anyway, coming back, we would like your comment on how this is affecting the industry in Mexico. And high grade gets around a lot of problems, but just like your comments, has it curtailed some of the exploration? Has it, what is your feel for this?
Well, it's a relative thing because obviously your cost structure in Mexico still is even with that added expense very, very, very cheap. And also there's been a lot of issues down there with locals and fomented by NGOs and things like that. And I think, if you have to give up a small tax that supposedly is going to get to the locals and that creates a more friendly environment for production, I think that maybe that offsets a lot of this.
Okay, good. I think we looked at the management, impressive team, looked at the share structure, cash in the bank, where all the projects are, how far along they are. Is there anything that we haven't discussed that our viewers need to know about your company?
Well, I just think that we have worked hard at separating ourselves from the pack. There's a lot of juniors out there, and we've had a tough time like with everybody else. But I think you just need to keep your feet moving forward. I mean, you need to surround yourself with really, really high quality people to even have a chance. And then you've got to do the work. It's got to be quality work, and you've got to have good projects. And I think you know, it's really just a function of making sure that the direction of the company is such that you don't end up being what some people term a zombie company. Mm-hmm. So we're working very, very hard at that. And I think the harder you work, the luckier you get. And you need some of that in this business.
I like that attitude. So where can we find out more? Website?
www.garibaldiresources.com. Our trading symbol is GGI on the TSX Venture.
Very good. Steve, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.